שלום רב לקהל היקר, כאן איריס לקנר, האוצרת והמנהלת של פסטיבל הקולנוע הרומני בישראל, ואני מתייחסת היום למהדורת 2025, ובמסגרת מהדורה זו אנחנו נקרין את הסרט 3 קילומטר עד קצה העולם. נמצא איתי כאן עמנואל פרבו, שהוא בימאי הסרט, הוא שחקן ובימאי, שסרטים שלו הן בהשתתפותו והן בבימויו, הופיעו כבר בישראל במהדורות קודמות, גם של הפסטיבל שלנו וגם בפסטיבלים של חיפה וירושלים. זה סרט מאוד נפוץ בפסטיבל, אתם תוכלו לראות אותו כמעט בכל הסינמטקים, ועכשיו נעבור לשיחה. Good day, Mr. Purvo.
Hello. Hi, and thank you for the presentation. I haven't got a clue of what you said there, but I think it
It's
was
all
well.
true.
Thank you. Thank
These
you.
are all facts. I
Okay,
just
okay,
mentioned
okay.
that movies you participated in as an actor were shown in our festival as well as in Haifa and Jerusalem festivals.
Yeah.
And so movies you
The
directed.
Jerusalem, I heard it, so I presume that it was something about it.
Okay. So let's talk about the movie we're going to watch extensively in our festival, 3 kilometers to the end of the world.
Okay.
Yes. Now, can you please tell me what was the source of inspiration for this movie?
First of all, let's say hi to all our viewers, and hopefully that they will I'm not even after 15 years since I've been making films. I'm not sure how to say, because usually you say enjoy the film, but I'm not sure how this type of film can be enjoyable. So yeah, hopefully that you'll have something at the end in your heart. So dear audience, let's have please be with your heart open when you're watching our film. And to answer your question, the main thought was about happened about arose about 10 years ago. It was a rape case back in 2014 in Romania, in which a girl got raped by 7 men, and the whole community turned against the victim. And yeah, that was a pretty tough case. I think you can find it in all the media. It was back in 2014, and in the first case of the first entrance in the court, the community was taking sides with the aggressors. So with the boys, with the 7 boys that did that horrible thing. So that made us thought, Miruna Beresco, the producer and the co-writer of the script, and myself, um, we both have daughters. Uh, I do have a daughter, and Miruna has a daughter, and yeah, and it seemed quite a case. So we thought how can it be possible to take sides with the aggressor? How can what happens inside a community, in a small community like that village, when this rape case happened? What happens inside of a community, so a community to take sides with the aggressors? So that was the main source of inspiration.
But actually, what happens here is that you take a bit of distance from the case you just mentioned, because we're talking about 2 boys after all, and we're talking about, yes, the aggressiveness of the community, the reaction of the family. I mean, what happens inside a community is the case, but
Yeah.
what turns it all is different, actually.
It must be different in our opinion, because it's being part of the LGBT community is something that you cannot spot from a distance. If we use that with a girl with a miniskirt, like in the real case, or with a guy from like a different skin color, or like a different religion or a different race, that can be spotted from a distance, and then you cannot have an we wanted to see a community that it's switching the point of view because the community is treating you well. Like you see a normal person, and I see you, Iris, and yeah, we're friends, we're everything okay. You're being treated very nice in our community. And then we find out something
Flip.
about you. You're still the same person, the same very nice human being. You look the same, but something within us is changing towards you, and we needed to see how this we needed to see this process. If it was something like this, dressing improperly, if you see somebody dressing improperly in a small rural community, if you see a different skin color, if you see a different religion, if you see a different race, that's something
It's
that you can
easier.
spot. Yeah, it's something that you can spot, and you'll not have a switch from a community.
And let's talk a bit more about this subject because I feel that homophobia is still very strong in Romania.
I think it's very
Um,
strong everywhere, not only in Romania.
yes, but I feel, for instance, if I try to think about Israel and about Romania, it's different. Okay.
Maybe it's different. Maybe it's different in the. I'm not sure how you. I don't know if you live in the rural part of Israel,
This is what
because
I wanted to ask. Do you
yeah,
feel that in Romania, first of all, is it different between the big cities and the rural areas?
absolutely, absolutely, and
Absolutely.
because it's exactly like in Paris, like in London, like everywhere else in big cities. And I think Romania did great in going to the proper and into the right direction. But
Okay.
still, I think we still have some some some
Work to
things
do.
to do. Yeah, some work to do. Some things to take care of in the right direction in the rural part of the countries where the things get mixed up between religion and the LGBT community and the politics, and they all get mixed up due to low school rate, due to low they don't get their information properly. They get their information and their culture from TikTok or for social media instead of and instead of going to school, and that's a big problem. And I think this goes into homophobia, into racism, into sexism, into all the isms that the rural part of our country still has in some parts.
But what you just said is interesting. I mean, they are active in social media, but they don't go to school or they don't, they
They're
drive their
active in social
information.
media regarding the social platforms. That doesn't they don't go into social media for their information. They just spend their time there because it's easier to look at the pictures instead of reading. So
Okay.
they spend their time in social media, but not on they don't find their information on Google. They don't search it. They don't go into specialty sites.
It's a key point. What you just said is
Yeah,
horrible, but
yeah.
it's something, a reality that we are facing, as you just said, all over the world. How strong do you feel is the religion in this picture? Because it seems like also in the big cities, but even in the rural parts, that people are very religious and they listen up to what the priests say, and he has a very big part in this story.
Um, in my opinion, I'm a very religious person. I'm all tattooed with cross, with things. I'm an extremely religious person. But I think people are are mis they're confused. They're confused by the difference between religion and faith. They're two very different things.
Okay.
Religion is made by men, and it has a dogma, and it has some different books. Faith is something that regards directly to God. There's two ways of how God's communicating with humankind. There's the inspiration, which is the indirect communication with us, and there's the revelation, which is the direct communication with us. So I think people are they're misinterpreting this difference, and you should. I think it's about knowledge, about reading, about culture. I think a religion can bring you back in time with 2, 3, 400 years. But I think faith can drive you upwards, and God is always speaking about being good. God is not making any difference between skin color, between religions. We're all His children. That's why we're staying here. That's why I communicate with you. It doesn't matter if you're a Chinese woman or you're yellow, black, green, red. I don't care, truly. All I care is for us to try and do good to each other, and to try and do good to our children and to our society and to our human race. So I have a very different approach on this thing. I think religion and faith are two very different things. And yeah,
Okay.
I think right now in this very special moment in our country, in the election part, I think people are using God as a special agent in politics. So they're involving him into politics, which is again another side of bad religion and bad interpretation of the religion. It has nothing to do with faith, in my opinion.
Okay. To this we can relate in so many levels all over the world again.
Yeah.
Now, you started as an actor and then you became also a director. What has driven you to this adding the directing part?
Uh, it happened more than 20 years ago, and started with the theater directing. And I was working in a state theater, and I realized that it simply isn't my match with with being employed in a theater. I just simply don't want to be employed, and that that got me into some discussions with my dad. Uh, you cannot even get a job, a proper job. So it was very funny, because I went to my family to explaining that I don't want to be employed in the theater, because I received an offer of being employed in a theater, and I was very young, and I just simply didn't. I think I wanted to do things by my own and not by being employed. And that's what my dad said. You cannot even get a proper job. And and then I went into the independent theater first, because it was the only theater in Bucharest. It was one independent theater in Bucharest 25 years ago. And yeah, I wrote a play, and then I directed it, and then I got nominated at the national union to the national
What
union.
did your dad say then?
Uh, yeah, no, we were very close. We were very close, but he was this, as normal as being a parent, you're concerned about your child's future, and when you see a job offer,
Yeah,
and at times he wanted me to be a safe, a
of
safe
course.
provider. If I want to make my own family, you should be providing for a family. You should be a pillar. You should be try to be a man for your family. So, but I had different plans for my life.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so
Okay.
it started with a theater play, and then I did a short film in 2008, and yeah, it all started, and it mingled the acting with the directing and the writing, and I think they're not so divided as we see them. I think there's a lot of actors that are directors, and starting with Chaplin, starting with Orson Welles. So yeah, I think there's a lot of I think they're together. Acting and directing is even in our country. Cristi Puyo in Aurora was the lead character. So and he directed the film and he did a wonderful job there. So yeah, I think they're together. It's
It's
not some.
natural to you.
Yeah, yeah. I don't regard it as much as different as people do it. So they're quite the same. They're different levels. They're very different. It's like having driving a Formula One car or driving a Paris Dakar rally car, but it's still driving and it's still fun and it's got different manners. So it's got different things that you have to take care of. But actually it's quite similar.
Okay. So as an actor, as a director, what's important to you when you consider to take a part or to make a movie about something? What's the
The truth,
issues?
the
What's
truth, the
what
truth,
drives you?
the truth
The truth.
only. I'm
Okay.
only interested in saying the truth, and I'm not because I know that cannot say it, and that drives me crazy because I know I don't have the truth. The truth, I only have a perspective of the truth. We can look in the same moment, in the same country, in the same city, in the same space, in the same room, talk the same language, and look onto an object, and we still can see different things
Yeah.
in that moment. And so we don't have the truth. We only have a perspective. And I want to say it as wide as I can from my point of view, because I think we see somewhere around 100 and 190 degrees or something. I want to see it as close as reality as possible. So I'm not interested in acting. If I can spot the acting in a film, for me it's not good. If you can, if a viewer, if myself when I watch a film, if I can spot the acting, for me it's done. It's
It's lost.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
lost to you.
Because if I don't see the truth in what you're doing, it doesn't have any sense for me. Only the
When you say that, I'm thinking of you in 5 minutes. In the movie 5 minutes. We screened it here. And
yeah,
I felt when I saw the movie that you were very passionate about your role. You did it with so much, like it was really important for you. I felt it, not as you play, but as you
yeah.
say.
I
So
I I think
it
that
correlates with what you just answered.
yeah, I think people are very passionate in their lives about what's if you can get as close to reality as possible, if you can manage to pass the realism and go into naturalism, for me it's the most beautiful form of acting. If you can pass that. Okay, I know it's a role, I know it's a part, I know it's a film, I know we're on the film set, I know we're having a camera, but something can happen and will happen eventually in 20, 30, 40 takes, 50 takes. Something will happen. And it's about our brain and how our brain reacts when we're being watched. Because we always try to present ourselves in a very good way in front of the others. We're doing that since we're kids. Our parents are dressing ourselves, so we're going to a visit. We're paying a visit to our aunt. Please get the good clothes. Dress properly. Don't speak up loud. Eat nice. Don't eat your food. Don't put a hole in your whole mouth. Just and we're with this social things and with this social negativity that we're getting since we're children. And then when we start to dress ourselves somewhere about 12 or 13 years old, we pick our clothes to put to show our good parts and hide our bad parts, because yeah, I have my thighs are somehow, my legs are too long or too short, and my hair is like that, I have my round face, or my face is rectangular or something like that. So we try and to be nice, to be looked, so we like to be that people to look upon ourselves like, yeah, he's great, he's doing good, yeah, she's beautiful. uh but when you're alone in your bathroom before going to bed, that's the reality. And when you're being on a film set and there's 20 people around you that are looking at you, your brain will try to protect you, and you'll always show yourself as an actor, not as a human being. And you need to be vulnerable. So it'll take your brain 20, 30, 40 takes, 2, 3, 4 hours in order for him to be relaxed and to know, to understand that it's not about you. People are not looking at you. People are doing their job. The focus puller is doing the focus thing. The boom operator is having his problems with the sound. The camera, the director of photography is doing something. So it's not about you. The actors are having a big ego. So no, it's not about you. It's about the film. So yeah, it's a very,
Okay,
very,
a
very,
whole process.
yeah, it's a whole process. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Back to the movie itself.
Yeah.
How was it received in Romania?
Way too good that we expected. It got, it, it was very, very well perceived. We had something that, but we were quite, we were expecting that from people at the beginning, from people that haven't even seen the film. So just reading by it in the newspaper, in the news, from then when we went to Cannes and we got the Queer Palm in Cannes. So they haven't even seen the film, and they started with hate and with bullying on social media and stuff. But we were expecting that. So, and that is quite that the movie is about this type of people, that they judge too quickly, they judge too fast,
Yeah,
and feel too little, as Chaplin said.
but then it got better, you say.
It was wonderful. We got wonderful reactions from the people. We did, twice as much that spectators that we expected, and so it got, yeah, it got, and it's everywhere else in the world was so this film was Romania's entry for the Oscars. And when we started our campaign in the United States, everything went absolutely beautiful. So this it was in Jerusalem Film Festival as well.
That's
Uh,
right.
it got the best director prize. So everything, everywhere else everywhere in the world, it was praised. It was very well, highly regarded. But the type of reaction that the people that we're talking about it in the film,
Hmm.
we were expecting that. So it was not,
Okay.
it was not a surprise.
Yes, it just shows how realistic the film is
Exactly,
from that point
exactly.
of view.
It's so the film is about this type of people.
Exactly. And you just mentioned Jerusalem. Maybe it's an opportunity to say that unfortunately we're unable to see you this year at ours, but
Yeah,
if people come on July to Jerusalem Film Festival, they will get an opportunity to meet you. And about
yeah,
that,
yeah,
there will
yeah,
be different publications.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
back to the movie itself. How was the casting process done? Did you have in mind already who you want to take for different roles?
The casting process is very difficult for me, because it usually lasts more than half a year. So because I write with dead people in my mind when I write, with dead actors, with people that I cannot get to. I write with old Romanian actors in my mind, with their faces young, because otherwise, if I stay, let's say if I want to cast a lady with brown hair and glasses. So I write, if I stay with you in my mind for 3 years, then Meryl Streep can come to casting, because I will cast you. So in order to be a fully open and a fully a fully truthfully casting process, I need to not to be not to be thinking to real people, into real actors, so that I can easily get. Uh, and then yeah, I try different approaches. I try with actors different parts, but the casting with Ciprian was great, because he came to cast for the tourist part that had two sequences. It was very fun, man, and it was something that good. It was something that particularly good in the way that Cipriano was saying the lines. And then I thought, okay, you learned this part, and I'll see you in about 2 3 weeks. And I gave him the lead part. So it was something that good. And after we started rehearsal, because the rehearsal process lasted about 3 months. Um, After 1 month, Ciprian came to me and said, "Look, can I say something?" Of course, um, I'm part of the LGBT community. I'm from the Danube Delta. I broke up with my boyfriend on the beach of Sunta Gheorghe. So beside of the prayer scene, all of this film, all of the script is my story. And
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
that's why you're reading so good. That's why, because it was this
You
line.
related to everything.
Yeah. So it was actually with Ciprian was very different, because he founded us. We didn't we didn't find him. It was a
Amazing.
very beautiful story. Yeah, with
Yeah.
him.
Okay. Can you tell us something about your next projects, as far as you can say?
No, but we're
No, but there are some.
there's a film that we're thinking of some years now, and we're in the financing stage right now.
Okay.
We're co-producing with it's a co-production between Romania and France. So yeah, um this is the way that the whole process goes. The whole process lasts for years and years, because it's the writing stage, and then is the financing stage, and there's the shooting stage, and there's the editing stage, and there's the
Okay.
so
Something to look up to in the future.
yeah. It's
Uh,
hopefully it will be at least as powerful as 3 kilometers. So yeah, it's
Now
another
I'm curious.
yeah.
Okay, you got me curious at least.
Okay.
As a final question, do you feel that something, hopefully for the better, changes these days, these past few years, in Romania as far as movie goes, the film industry?
I think the film industry in Romania is going great right now. The like absolutely great.
Due to what?
Last due to the Romanian Film Center. I think it's
Okay.
what we're missing. I think is the actual cinemas that we're missing, and I think this part, this 20 years, 25 years of missing the actual building of cinema, missing the actual cinema itself. It got the people to get rid and not to be used this with cinemas anymore. Going to cinema is a social process, like you're going into theater. You
Mhm.
dress up nicely, you meet with some friends, you go with your wife or your family or your children, you dress up nicely, and you go and have a social meeting, and you go into movies to see a film, and then you go up to a restaurant and have dinner and discuss about it. It's a whole social progress.
Yeah.
It's like you do it with the opera, with the theater shows. It's exactly the same. Because of the we didn't have any more cinemas like we have with the theaters. People are now used in going to the malls,
Yeah.
but the mall isn't like a social thing. The mall, you're going to the mall for shopping and let's just watch a film. Doesn't matter what the film is. So I think the people that are responsible for that in the last 25 years should be really ashamed because they destroyed generations of people that this will last on and on if it wasn't for the National Film Center that are still financing films that are not only bringing people into eating popcorn into cinema, like real films, and Romania to be represented on the world stage of cinema, to be to have your country name in Cannes, in Berlin, in Venice, everywhere, so people can hear about cinema, so investors can come to our country. Um, I think that due to the National Film Center, we're doing great, but due to the distribution thing, and I don't know where it got to bankruptcy. I think 2 years ago, the Romanian Distribution Society, Film Distribution Society, I think that is really a bad
A
thing.
problematic issue.
Yeah, very, very bad.
But do you feel that afterwards, I mean, they don't go to everything you just mentioned, but do people see it afterwards on television? At least that?
We had this discussion with television and with about in the late 50s and in the early 60s when television got into people's house on the larger scale. So that were the people were singing the death of cinema. And right now, due to platforms, to Netflix, to HBO, to Max, to whatever, Sky or Disney, there people are mourning the death of cinema. But I think uh, uh, if if we stay with this social thing, cinema is about social thing. Is about between us. It's between human beings. It's not about the film itself. It's a whole social program. It's a whole social thing that we're doing. It's like theater. It's exactly like theater. So I think cinema will not be dying. I think cinema will last. It's changing due to medium. It's okay. It's not film anymore. It's digital, but it's still a process where we will continue to make. We as a humankind, we will continue to make films and to release them into onto cinemas. And I think that's the
That's what's important.
we need to preserve that. We need to preserve that, and with all of our powers, that we need to take care of the culture.
Okay. A very interesting perspective for sure. I can assure you that people that are going to come and watch your movie are going to see it in cinematics. So, as far as this goes, you can be assured that it will be some kind of process in the right direction. I thank you very much. I'm looking forward to meeting you in Jerusalem in
Thank
person.
you. Thank you. Thank
And I welcome and invite our audience to come and watch the movie, a very important movie, a very good one. And as we just heard the director, a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you
Vă
so much, and I'll
mulțumesc.
be seeing you in July.